Some educationists have called on government to phase out the double-track system by next year. Government introduced a system to deal with high enrollment senior high schools following the introduction of the free senior high school program. Speaking during the launch of the Global Action Week for Education 2019, Chairman of the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition, Kofi Asare, said under the double-track system, the period students are made to stay at home and large class sizes will continue to affect the quality of education. Afua Evans Chinwe reports.
Some concerns raised during the launch was the need for all Ghanaian children to have access to quality early childhood development and primary development, and the need to expand infrastructure at the secondary level to accommodate the increase in numbers to phase out the double-track system. Chairman of the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition, Kofi Asare, says citizens must galvanize to keep government on track in taking decisions and developing policies.
The double-track system makes it possible for people who even get aggregate 59 to go to senior high school. So you have a class of low achievers and high academic achievers and one teacher teaching them. There are two options to that teacher. You either decide to go with the high achievers and move so that you're able to complete the curriculum as scheduled, or you move slowly with the entire class and you don't complete the curriculum. These are concerns teachers have raised. Apart from this, we all know that going to school for 40 days and going home and coming is quite disorientating. In fact, teachers have indicated that they spend about a week to give orientation to students whenever they return from the home. So what we are saying is that every possible effort must be made by government to ensure that we don't enter next year with double tracks. Other than that, we will only deepen the existing divide in quality learning outcomes between public and private schools. As I mentioned, Ghanaians who have money are taking their children to private secondary schools and they are paying as much as 40,000 Ghana cedis. Everybody knows that the public system lacks quality. Let's not deepen that perception. Let's quickly phase out the double-track system and have a system where we can have reduced class sizes and we can have a more relaxed system for teachers to actually engage students in discussions and learning.
He says most of the policy interventions have always focused on access and tangible outputs rather than learning outcomes.
Of what benefit will we gain if our children go to school for about 15 years only to come out as illiterates? It doesn't make any sense. And so what we are saying is that if we are investing about 25% of the national budget in education and investing about 6% of GDP in education, probably the highest in Africa, we shouldn't be beating our chest with this. These are inputs. We should beat ourselves with the outcome. As a result of investing a quarter of your budget in education, what was the outcome? What was the outcome on literacy? What was the outcome on numeracy? And what was the outcome on making our children creative thinkers? These are the three cardinal objectives of our basic education system. And that is why we need to assess our progress on the basis of this, and not how many schools we built, not how many textbooks we provided, how much money we pay for teachers' allowances, and how many school uniforms provided. Not that.
There were also concerns that schools across the country are not disability-friendly. The Global Action Week for Education is a flagship event of the global education movement, providing everyone campaigning the right to education. It was under the theme Strengthening Citizen Participation and Accountability in Education Management, a milestone for achieving SDG 4.
Staying on education, researchers at the University of Cape Coast have called for a national policy on responsible mobile phone use in pre-tertiary education institutions by both teachers and students. According to them, their study into the use of mobile phones in class has revealed that even though the phones are very valuable resources, their use by students and teachers during instructional hours could be counterproductive. The researchers reviewed their findings after piloting some guidelines for responsible mobile phone use by students and teachers in some basic and senior high schools in Ghana. Richard Kojunyako has more. We'll bring you details of that story filed by my colleague Richard Kojonyako later on. You're watching News Desk with me, Bernice Abubedulansa. Now, Imani Africa is worried Ghana may not be exacting the maximum interest from its oil discoveries, and as such, Imani Africa is holding a press conference shortly to discuss these issues. We'll be bringing you more on this. Do stay with us.